Okay. What did I give this last night? I did 1 and 2 yesterday, did I? So I'm going to start on 3 if that's cool with you guys. Or did I do 1 and 3 yesterday?
You did 3.
So I didn't do 2.
Like 4, 5 and 6.
So 2, 4, 5 and 6.
We didn't do 6.
We didn't do 6.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Alright, let's start from number 2. You're using the 6 rules above to make this balance, right? So here's what I'm thinking. I always take the more complicated side. Which one's the more complicated side? Usually the one with more parts. Which one has more parts? I'm going to take the left side. And anytime I see cotan, secant, or cosecant, I get rid of it immediately, every time. Never, ever, ever do I think maybe 0.01% of the time I do something differently, right? So how can I get rid of secant? What can I write down instead? Alright. And tell me something, what's rule 3? Does that balance now? So once you match it up to one of the rules above, it's game over for the question. That one was pretty handy. Did anybody get it out? Yeah. Alright. Happy days. Now we're going to go after question 4 now. Aaron, which side is the more complicated side?
The left side.
The left side, okay. Now which particular part of the left side would cause a lot of hassle? I don't like the square root, do you? Not a big fan of the square root. Okay? Now let's examine your knowledge of square roots. What's the square root of 4 plus 9? It's the square root of 13. How many people thought you'd be allowed to do this? Did anybody think you'd be allowed to do 2 plus 3 equals 5? I know you're out there. Okay? You did think that, alright? Because I see this all the time. Alright? So, likewise, what the lads saw, and they find it hard to unsee, is they saw this. They saw the square root of 2 squared plus 3 squared. And they thought, I'm allowed to treat each part individually. You're not. Okay? Now, it will look like this, lads. If I said if it looks like this, where it's a bracket and the square is on the outside, then you're allowed to do it. Does that make sense? Now, would I be allowed to write this as 1 minus sine theta? Is that allowed? No. How would you check your answer? If you square it back out again, what should happen? It should turn back into 1 minus. I can tell you right now it doesn't. When you do that, it isn't turning back into what you originally started off with. That's a good way of checking what you're doing and making sure if it doesn't work back out again, you're not allowed to do it. Now, what can we do? Well, it's the whole point of this exercise not to use rules that are on top of the board. What rule has sine squared theta in it? Does any rule have sine squared theta in it? Which rule would have sine squared theta in it? 5. Now you're going to become very familiar with this rule. Move the sine squared theta to the other side. What happens? Bingo. You're going to use that a lot. So what happens to the 1 minus sine squared theta here? What do I change it into? And what is the square root of cos squared theta? Square and does everybody understand that cos squared theta means cos theta to be squared? It means the same thing. So you're square rooting the answer. So is everybody happy that that's sine theta over cos theta? And what did we say sine theta over cos theta was again? Rule number 3. It's tan theta, isn't it? So both sides balance each other. The left side equals the right side. Was anybody lucky enough to pull that one off? Just Adam? Alright. Alright, Adam, you're going to give number 5 a crack for me, okay? Alright, Adam, so look, we're just going to maintain our composure here, alright? What did I tell you earlier about sec, cotan and cosecant? What did I say? I don't like them, they don't like me, so I get rid of them on sight. So what do I do with sec A? Rule 2.
Is it 1 over cos A?
Excellent. Alright. See the way we have sines and coses? And see the way we also have tans? See the way we have 3 functions, don't we? Would you agree we currently have 3 functions? 3's a party, 3's too many, lads. Alright? Don't be getting greedy. Alright? So, I want to get rid of one of them so that we'll only have sine and coses left. Any suggestions? Rule 3, thank you. And what's rule 3? Sine A over cos A. Excellent, Adam. We're in business. Do you know what I mean by merging fractions, Adam? Have you ever heard me use that term, merging fractions? What about you, Comiskey? Never? No, you... Yeah, sure it does, yeah. Now, see 3 and 3 over 7 plus 6 over 7. I can rewrite that as... See the way if the two denominators are the same, I can merge them into one. So what would I suggest you do with the left hand side here, Adam?
1 minus sine A.
What's sine A by sine A of interest?
Sine squared A.
Good answer, Comiskey. Now, Adam, do you remember question 4 we did earlier?
Yeah.
Do you remember what we did with this part here? Yeah, we used rule 5, didn't we?
Yeah.
And rule 5 was we brought the sine squared theta over the other side. So what did it become?
Cos squared theta equals 1 minus sine squared theta.
Okay, so what can I do with that part on the top then?
Turn to cos squared theta.
Okay. Well, it's not cos, it's cos squared A. Alright. Now we're nearly in business. What's cos squared A divided by cos A? Yeah, and what's x squared divided by x? It's the same thing, just x. So you've successfully proven that. What are the key points we're trying to learn? If we have 3 functions, we want to whittle it down to 2. If we see sine squared or cos squared, what rule should we be very much aware of? We should be very much aware of rule 5. Is that okay? Alright, let's have a look at the next batch then. Fancy way, Aaron. Alright, lads. If you say secant squared A is just 1 plus tan squared A, so it's just 1 plus tan squared A minus tan squared A equals 1, and you just get 1 equals 1. That's a bit disappointing, really. Now, on to 10. This one's also disappointing. Rule 6. What are you going to put in for rule 6? What can you replace 1 plus tan squared with? Secant squared theta. Okay. Now, what exactly is secant again? So, secant theta is 1 over cos theta. Square both sides, and what you get? Secant squared theta equals? Exactly. And what's 1 over cos squared theta multiplied by cos squared theta?